Sean, huge news today with Brad Jones Racing coming on board from a Toyota point of view. Run us through what it means for you.
Well, it kind of confirms the final piece of the team puzzle for us. You know, we were really enthusiastic about our relationship with Walkinshaw, obviously, and we have another deep relationship with that organisation, but they brought a global capability, they brought values similar to ours. So in looking for the second team, it was always a complex issue for us. You know, we weren't knocked over by thousands of teams looking to come to Toyota, but we had a select couple. And with Brad Jones, you know, from day one when I met Brad, he came to my office, and I was just so impressed with the way he spoke, his history, 25 years this year with supercars, 45 years in racing, and you know, offering from a commercial side the 4 cars, making 6 on the grid gives us a bit of coverage, which, you know, at the start we thought we'd only probably ever have 4, but getting to 6 gives us just that little bit of extra coverage. But from a pure racing's an emotional game. So, but and I'm not an expert on motor racing per se, but when it comes to people, I'd like to think I know a thing or two, right? And when I look at selecting the team with our team, we actually look at the people, the quality of the person and what they stand for. And Brad stands for everything that we stand for. And I saw that just today in his own pit garage when I was with him. And a family environment. We know that this race, for both of us, as a team, Walkinshaw and Brad Jones Racing, for Toyota, this is an incredibly big step. And make no mistake, we're not here to lose. Like, we want to win the race. Of course we do. But we have a sense also that we have to earn that position, and we have to earn that respect in the sport. We're a newcomer. What I can tell the supercar race fans is simply this: we will not give up, and we will be competitive, and we'll have a red hot go every time we're out there. And we got the 2 teams coming together as the Toyota GR team, Walkinshaw Andretti United, and Brad Jones Racing, for me, seals the deal. And it's incredibly, I say exciting, but I'm grateful that I've picked up these 2 teams for Toyota.
And from a Toyota point of view, from here, I mean, the process seems to be done with selecting a team. What's next from Toyota's point of view? Development.
And that'll be headed up by Walkinshaw Andretti United along with Brad, and that was another important facet to the whole relationship, that both of those teams could collaborate and get on well, and they had good history. And that's a really, really important part of this. So that was a big step as well to mention. But we'll go into development now. I'll let Bruce and Brad speak about those things because that's a bit out of my league. But what I will say is that we get report backs from Walkinshaw Andretti United regularly. They're working incredibly hard. Having said that, we at Toyota Gazoo Racing respect the fact that both of these teams currently run with other brands, and we'll respect that they will do the right thing, and they will always, I know, but we won't interfere with that program this year. But behind the scenes, we're very advanced in development. Our engine development's on track. Our parity and design elements are on track. In fact, we got the car back for a little bit more design work at the moment. And then essentially it's between Walkinshaw Andretti United and, of course, Brad Jones Racing to take it from there.
All right, I know the journos will have better questions than me, but I'll go straight to Brad. Brad, from your point of view, when you first started speaking to Sean, you know, what made the decision happen for you?
Well, I've been with General Motors for a long time. You know, the first time I drove for them was in 1990, and then we went off and ran Fords for a little while and ended up back there. So there was a lot of discussion and toing and froing. But at the end of the day, what Sean said about the people and being connected in terms of goals and enthusiasm, it was hard to go past what Toyota are offering. I was very impressed with the people and the package. Spent some time talking to Bruce, and we just worked through it. But I felt from the very first day I went in there that this was a great opportunity, and something, bringing Toyota into supercars is such a big deal, and to have the opportunity to be part of that is hard to go past.
There was a lot of speculation, I guess, about the fact that there could be 2 Toyotas coming out of your team. To take all 4 Toyotas, was it never a question?
Never a question. Running 4 cars is a model that we run, and since I'm on my very, very best behaviour today, I'll leave it at that.
All right, and for the squad, I mean, you do have such a tight squad there in Albury. What does it mean now, the development for you?
Well, let me talk about the squad to start with. So the first, I got everyone together and told them, and honestly, everyone is very excited with the prospect of doing this, being able to be involved with the very start of a project and work very closely with Walkinshaws is something that we're all really looking forward to, that challenge. If you put Walkinshaw together with us, with our manufacturing and the capabilities we have in the shop, with the amount of people that we have working for us is quite big. So, it's just a very exciting time.
And lastly from me, Jim Campbell, I mean, when you spoke to GM and you've had this conversation, what was that like?
Well, I've had a couple of discussions with them. They were really good, to be honest. I spoke to Jim again last night, and he was, he was good. I was very respectful, and so was he. And I explained to him, why I've made this decision. And honestly, people look at car racing and think it's a lot about brands, but the truth is, when you're at the area that we're all at, a lot of it has to do with the people, and I'm very comfortable with these people, and so he understood that, and he was he's really good, and respects the relationship that I've had with them for a long time, and I respect that the engagement with he and Eric and what they're trying to do with GM currently, that's a good program also.
Alrighty, I'll move on to Bruce. Bruce, you've got 6 cars now to kind of develop in the homologation role. How do you feel about Brad coming on board?
It's fantastic. Have no doubt we are all stronger for this. So not only Toyota with what they're doing in supercars and WAU as the HT, but also Brad Jones Racing. And we'll collaborate hard and earnestly, honestly, and transparently with BJR, because having 6 cars gives you the ability to be faster, up to speed. Remember, we have got a Camaro and a Mustang out there that have had a couple of years in regard to developing the cars. So this is tremendous news for everyone, and it'll be great for the fans as well.
And an update for the fans from Walkinshaw. Where are we at, I guess, with the development?
As Sean said, we're on track. We're working hard, obviously transparently with the people at Toyota and Supercars, working to a timeline. We're on track. In that respect, I expect for your next question, Paul, that we would have a car on track sometime early in the second half of the year. And in that respect, I also believe we'll have people going up the highway to Albury and people coming back down as well, because the sooner we can work closely with BJR and use their strength as well as ours, I think the better for the program.
And from your point of view, having 6 cars on the grid now that are Toyotas, and this could be a question for all 3, but Brad just spoke about it, Mark Rushbrook and yourself spoke about it at the beginning. Supercars is better for it, right, having more Toyotas on the grid?
Yes, absolutely. Sorry, I'll jump in. The thing I've been blown away is the passion for Toyota, and there's no doubt it's a huge brand, sells a lot of vehicles, but I don't know if I'm old or past it or whatever, but there's a lot of young enthusiasm for the Supra, that beautiful vehicle, and I cannot wait to see it on track, because I just know that will grow interest, passion and involvement for supercars from the fans in every state we go to.
If I could add to that, one of the things for me is, if you look at, there's a lot of, with 888 moving to Ford, there's a lot of, and GM trying to put together packages where the data, gets shared between all the teams. I think it's really important that to have the sort of collaborative relationship that we're working really hard on, and I think the fact that we'll have 6 cars out there and we'll be working hand in hand with each other, not so much as a master-slave type relationship where there's someone that sells you all the information, but actually legitimately sharing what we've got will be really good, and I feel that is a really strong point for us in our union. So there's lots of exciting things about the build and such that's going on, but for me, when we come to a race meeting, I think having 6 cars is really important.
Alrighty on that. Oh, sorry, Sean.
I'll add to that. Outside of the racing, there's really another important stream that we considered in the whole equation as we, way back in time, when we were entering the supercars arena and the planning of it, to making sure that we could do it. We have the 86 series, and we have the 86 graduate series, and shortly we'll have the supercars series that we'll be participating in through these great teams. Our dream, has always been, we call it the University of Motorsport. Not only do I think that Toyota will bring some excitement and some energy into the supercars product, which is another really important thing. I know Shane would be wanting that, so he should, by the way, and we hope that the might of our company and our marketing and everything else that we'll do over that, not the initial period, but right through our time, and we're not here for the short term, by the way, we'll add something to the supercars product. So there's that element. But when we talk about the 6 cars and the 2 teams that are representing Toyota, the homologation team, obviously WAU, Brad Jones Racing, obviously a big part of it, that's 6 Toyota drivers at some point. Now, we know who the WAU is, and Brad will comment on what he's doing, but that will give, we hope that the opportunity will come from, in the future, the 86 series to be able to go into those teams. All right? Our bigger dream, and by no means an announcement today, but it's a dream that I have, is that one day those supercar drivers, the best of the best, could have a look at our NASCAR team. That's the University of Motorsport. No other brand that I'm aware of can quite offer that right now. And that's the progression. That's another reason why having 6 cars is important. It gives people 6 opportunities to be in the big game.
I think Brad's going to get a lot of phone calls from driver agents if that's on the cards. On that, I'll open it up.
I'm certainly not saying Brad's doing it. He'll decide that. But in the future, it's 6 drivers of 6 cars, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'll open it up for questions from journos. Start with Stefan.
Brad, let's move straight on to who's going to be driving your 4 Supras next year. What can you tell us?
Yeah, I'd love to tell you what's going on, but it's just a work in progress. And honestly, right now, I've been busy working on this deal, so I haven't sorted that out yet.
Have you got any drivers locked in?
Yeah.
Do they have names you can share with us?
No.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, this sounds like a normal press conference now, doesn't it?
You said you were going to be on your best behaviour today.
Yeah, well,
in front of the adults.
These motorsport press conferences, they just say yes and no.
You know, like in all seriousness, yeah. I never had my drivers sorted out this time of the year. Andre's got another year of his contract to go, so I just need to work through it, and I will in time. But the truth of the matter is this has really consumed my single focus for a long period of time.
You spoke about the first meeting with Sean and the Toyota guys. Mm-hmm. When was that?
That was this year.
And
I think it was this year. Was it this year or then last year? It was this year, yeah.
Was that, did you get injured? Were you crook? Did some,
Yeah, that was a while ago. They don't need to know, really. No.
Anyhow.
Sorry, Stephen.
Recent.
Yeah.
And when did you actually commit? When did you do the deal?
I signed the form last night.
Very good. Anyone else want to have a go?
Brad, you spoke before about the work in the off season to make the change. Have you got a plan for whether you'll build new cars or whether you'll reskin cars and that sort of stuff?
Yeah, I definitely have. I think for us to build 4 new cars is too much. So every year we build 1 new car, and we've already started that process. So we'll build 1 or 2, and then we'll reskin a couple of cars. Probably reskin 3 cars maybe.
And Bruce, you've talked about the fact that you don't want to put a date on when we're going to see a car on track and that sort of stuff. But can you give us any insight on where the development actually is? How many sort of chassis are earmarked as Supras? Where engine development? Is there any detail you can give us?
Look, all I say is we've got a very firm timeline. We've got an amazingly large Gantt chart, and we're ticking off all of the key areas. Do we expect there to be challenges on the way? Yes, there always will be, but are we in control of the program? Yes, we are. So all I'll say is at the start of the second half of the year, you'll see one of the cars and it will look fantastic.
Wow, he's way more diplomatic than me, isn't he?
I did want to say no, but
No, I thought it was good, Bruce.
you've got to learn from your partners. So well done, Brad.
Well done, Brad.
Bruce, do you feel like it will be a journey to get up to being on par with a Mustang and Camaro, like in terms, or do you feel like you'll be able to go out with a Supra and win straight away first race?
If I said that, you would have to be looking at me with you don't know what you don't know. And all I know is with great partners, more cars and transparency, you're more likely to hit the ground running early, and that is strength. So this is fantastic.
And Sean, I guess we're seeing like Ford have had a bit of a motorsport division here for a little bit. GM have got a bit of that going on with Jeremy Moore and Simon McNamara. Is there something in the works there for Toyota in terms of who will be there, I guess, on the ground people at every event, or?
Our on-ground people? You're looking at them, they're left and right.
Not a Toyota sort of...
Of course, we have our own motorsport area in Toyota, Toyota Motor Corporation Australia, and they're largely represented over to my left, your right, here today. Benny, I think Ben Casagrande is here somewhere. But we'll expand on that as we go forward. But in actual fact, when we partner, we approach slightly different, I think, to other brands and companies, whereas our on-grounds here, our teams are everything. We don't interfere. We want to support those teams. We want them to be successful. We're always available for them, but we don't, outside of our own little activations on the side, we don't interfere. We're a very different relationship. When you look at our sponsorships over the years in Australia, whether it's the AFL, the Adelaide Football Club, the North Queensland Cowboys, Tamworth Music Festival, whatever you want to look at, we're well over 20 years, heading up to 30 years with those partners. So we're not a short-term player, but the recipe for success is don't interfere, let the experts do their job.
And if I could expand on that a little bit, with just 2 teams, really, I'm not sure that that's necessary at this point. I mean, you know, Ben obviously will be on the ground, but a lot of the stuff that you end up with a motorsport department trying to sort out, I really feel like Walkinshaw and us can sort it out ourselves for the start. So, I mean, we obviously welcome any support in that area, but this is one of the things that's taken a little bit of time because we've had such a lot of communication about how would that would all work for us, and you know, so I'm not sure it's necessary at this point, not yet.
Bruce, the engines are obviously well underway in terms of development. The similar architecture to the Ford.
Yep.
Have you been experiencing similar kind of problems in terms of tuning and so forth, and have there been any hassles that you don't want to tell us about?
No, again, we would expect when we start the engine running that you'll come across on track, that you'll come across those challenges, or you may not. But all I can say is there's a solid testing program planned and will go in place. So we won't kid ourselves to think that this will be seamless. There will always be bumps in the road, but we've got a really strong team, and now it's been extended, and we've got a strong partner who can also help collaborate. So, again, this will be strength for us.
How far down the track are you with the engines?
We're on track with our plan. Correct.
And just to Brad, I mean, I guess like we saw in hello Brad, in the Car of the Future sort of 2013 time, Nissan and whoever else come in, but they all only had one team. Do you feel like having that second team, is something that will make this different to previous brands that have tried to come in?
I think there's a couple of things that will make this different, but that is one of them. I think we saw with Volvo how fast they were, but we looked at another couple of teams and they really struggled. So I feel like with the amount of testing they do, the aero testing, AVL, then that's going to make everything a little bit closer at the start, but I definitely think it's advantageous. If you look at the workforce that Walkinshaw have and we have, as I compared before, we're probably two of the three biggest teams in the category. So, I feel like that's a really positive step. And I don't think we'll go through that pain. Definitely having the two of us together is better than just one.
Bruce, from a HT perspective, does it feel a bit more streamlined having 4 cars and one team to work with compared to what it was like in the Holden days when there were several teams?
I wasn't in this role in the Holden days, so probably it wasn't directly involved, but I keep saying it's a position of strength. You have people that you trust and that you have worked with in different aspects in the past, even through challenges in COVID, and we had a engine piston ring issue, and I know Brad was one of the first people to reach out to me and have a chat and offer help. And so in that respect, you already have a track record of the olive branch and, looking after the category and looking after the strength of it.
And it was cheap too, my help.
So there you go.
But it's a different relationship. If you look at the way that the 888 relationship works with the teams or in the past, most of the teams, a lot of the information they keep within the group, where this is not the sort of relationship we have. So we're in lots of ways equal with a number of items that are around the car, and we just have one goal, which is to make the Supra as competitive as we can, as quickly as we can, and that's what we'll both be trying to do.
Absolutely.
I think we'll finish up there. Sean, final word from you. Come October next year, you're going to have 6 Supras on the grid in the great race. I mean, what's that feeling going to be like for you?
Relief, excitement. It's been a dream. I could sit here and tell you the history. It's been a dream for a long, long time of my own. Funny thing, always wanted it. And I said to young Vin over there one day, out of the blue, I said, in a Toyota office, we should have another crack at supercars. And he loves it, right? So he's a passionate fan and loves motorsport. And he said to me, "For real? Are you kidding?" I said, "No, I'm actually for real. But we got to keep it a secret, because if we have a false start, I don't want bad media, right?" And we managed to keep it a secret pretty good. But it was important that we didn't mislead the motorsport public. More importantly, we didn't mislead Supercars organisation, because it's a big thing, right? So relief in that way that it's happening. Excited of the prospects of showing Toyota's capability in motorsport. I think we've been in motorsport a long, long time. Whilst this is completely a local program, Toyota Australia, funded and managed with the respective 2 teams here, we do have the know-how of the GR Global Company. We do have Toyota Motorsport know-how that we can add, which is going to be deeply important as we go forward. Again, though, it won't be in a way that interferes with the program. We want to win this race. And we want to do it within the parity rules. We just want to win this race. And this gives us the greatest chance ever, having 6 cars on the grid. Can't wait to go racing.
Alrighty, sounds good to me. Well, thank you very much, guys. Very exciting day for everyone, so I'll let you get going.
Thank you.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you.